Hey everybody, welcome to FabFit Friday. I'm sorry I was running a little late. I was feeling really clever because I figured out how to add photos to my screen so I don't have to hold my phone up and show you stuff today. But then when I came on, I realized when I show you those photos, you're going to be able to see me, but you're not going to be able to hear me because I forgot to put the audio in on those views. So we're going to just deal with it. Hi, Farda. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm really excited today because we're really going to delve into bias today, and I have some new recommendations for the amount of ease you want to add depending on the fit you're looking for, based on having some really good conversations with Julie Ann, who wrote this amazing book, Bias Cut Blueprints. It's a very exciting book because she shows you how to make a tube, and you make a tube by sewing it together on the straight of grain, and then you make garments from the tube. So we may, I might incorporate that into my dress version of my top. We'll see. But I'm very excited to show you how to add ease, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Oh, Farda says, how are you? And you're a big fan. Thank you so much for joining me. I do want to show you something. This is a little bragging thing. Hey, Mary, welcome. If you've been following along with me, after I spent a week having COVID in private, I did announce I had COVID, and I caught it from the ASG conference. And I didn't want to say it out loud because I had to teach all last weekend, and I was really focusing my energy at getting better so I could teach, and everything worked out great. But then I spent the rest of the week, including up till yesterday, feeling very, very tired. This new strain of COVID just knocked me in terms of my energy. And I was sleeping in, and I was trying to rest because I just wanted to be in bed every second. So this morning I woke up at 7, which is close to my normal wake up time. And I just want to show you here. This was my hike this morning. I want you to notice that I did it in an hour and 5 minutes, which is 10 minutes faster than my average of 1:15. So I'm clearly on fire today, and I feel 100% fabulous. So I just want to tell you all, I'm 100% fabulous, and I'm so excited to see all my friends here. Diane Fetters, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. I know you've been MIA. I almost checked on you because I was getting worried, I'll be honest. Judy, I'm happy to see you. Hi, Carol from Florida. Hi, Francis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so I'm really excited, and you can see I'm wearing my bias top that I made during the first part of this series many moons ago because I had to cancel a few weeks due to shooting the Threads pants class, and then I was at ASG, and then I was teaching, so we missed 3 weeks. I feel horrible, so I'm so happy to see you all. And I did get to spend some time this week working on my bias situation. But while I was at ASG, I had some good talks with Julie Ann about sewing on the bias, working on the bias, different kinds of fabric on the bias. So I'm going to be updating some of the things I told you the first day. And I think this will make it easier for you to follow along with me, working from your sleeveless pattern that you may have started working with. But I also have a cool thing to tell you. If you made a top and it's too snug at your hip because your hips are larger than your bust measurement, if you use that for size, I have really, really good news, because you can add ease in an existing garment without it looking like you added ease. Meaning, when you sew things on the straight of grain and they're too tight, you can let things out, you can add gussets or panels, but you can tell that you did that. So working on the bias, you can actually add ease without it looking like you had to add ease. And I'm going to stand up and show you my shirt. And then I'm going to put up my two screens that I couldn't get the audio on for, so you'll be able to see my before and after of this top in a second. All right, let me just see here. Oh, Mary says, you're so lucky to have a wonderful place to walk. Oh, I love Case Mountain. That is like my sanctuary of, you know, I work out all my stuff on that trail. And depending on how much agita I have, that does affect my times. I'm very competitive with myself, so I try to keep my pep in my step. But yeah, I do love hiking. Oh, Andrew says you sound better. I totally am. I'm celebrating today. It's my first day of 100% back to normal. Oh, and Andrea also says Julie Ann Bramson is great and a writer and an ASG member. She is, and also she's a wonderful person. She is such a wonderful person. I feel so blessed that I got to meet her. So I'm going to show her book one more time. I put my affiliate link in the description if anybody would like to get her book. It costs the same on Amazon as it does if you buy it from her in person. And oh, Mary wants to know about the new dogs. All right, let me just show a dog. I have to show a dog picture. I haven't seen the dogs because I've had COVID, so I haven't really seen them, but let me show you something that's kind of funny. This will just be really quick because I know some people might not, you know, be dog people, but I think everybody can love a cute puppy, right? So let me just show you here. My friend Marisa, who is in charge of them, sent me this picture. Now, this is from August 3rd. These are all the puppies. So you can see how big they're getting. They're probably tripled or quadrupled their original weight. And then she sends me this picture. Oh, here's another one. Hold on. So they're there again. And then she sent me this picture and she goes, "What's wrong with this picture?" So it took me a minute. It took me a minute to see what was wrong in this picture. I'm just going to tell you in case you can't figure it out. Basically, Sophie's now back on her normal happiness, so she was outside, and one of her older dogs, Vivian, got in the box because she's been fretting about the puppies, and I think she was trying to pretend to be the mama for a minute. So these are the smart puppies that realize there's no milk over here, right? And then these are the puppies that maybe aren't as sharp, trying to see if they can get some from Vivian, but that's her older girl, Vivian, pretending to be Sophie for a minute. So I thought that was kind of fun. So everyone's doing well. And believe it or not, I will have my new puppy, who is going to be named Molly after the unsingable Molly Brown, like in a month. I'll have them back, and I really miss Sophie. And Maggie really miss Sophie too. Maggie's kind of sad, my older dog. She's laying in the corner over there on her cushion. Okay, so now let's get to this bias top. Now, if you remember, I think I did model it for you a month ago now, but I want to stand up and show you what I did. Okay, so you can see I added ease to this, and if I turn to the side, you can see it's got a godet here. Okay, and then if I turn around this side, it's got one over here. So there's one here, and there's one on the other side. Now, if you like this asymmetrical hem situation, you could totally leave it like this, or you could smooth out the hem and make it, straight again after you let it hang. But basically, if I come in close here, let's see, where's the front one? The godet is right here. So the tip of it is right here, and there's a godet that goes down to here. So here's the end of it. And the reason why I'm trying to show you is it basically blends completely into the fabric. So I've added ease but I haven't really made it look like I added ease. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So you can add ease to your top if it's too snug at the bottom. Remember on my red one, I let out the side seams. So you can do that, but I also noticed that if I let the side seams out after hanging it for several days, then it was kind of funky again. So I think this is going to be a better way to do it. So I'm going to show you how to do this today. Let me just stop and say hi to Rena from Illinois. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then Mary says, Molly is my fur baby's name, who is currently sacked out on my lap. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm going to name my new puppy Molly because she was the tiny one that almost didn't make it. Like, we had to supplement her food for a few days because she was barely she was like 6 pounds, 2 ounces. She was tiny. And then, you know, so she used her whole body to get in there and push her way in to get her share from Sophie as well. And my dad calls me the unsinkable Molly Brown because, you know, I've had a lot to go over and get to where I am. Really since childhood, I've been very, you know, buoyant, and I've gone for things, and I have fallen on my face, and I've gotten back up, and I've done all those things. So basically, my dad calls me the unsinkable Molly Brown, so I am going to call my new girl Molly too. So Mary and I now have puppy dogs with the same name. All right. Hey, Christiana, welcome from California. And Joy says, good morning, sewing friends. Oh, I'm so happy to see you all. That even makes me feel better if that's possible. All right, so let me show you here. I just want to show you. I'm not going to be able to talk, but let's look at this. This is the comparison of the top I'm wearing. First, I'm going to show you the no-go day version. So you can't hear me, but see, no-go day. That's how it fit. So here. So you can see, I think, that even if I cut off that asymmetrical hem, I think it hangs nicer to have a little bit more ease. So I'm going to change my recommendation. Let's go on the table here and let's look at, remember I made this little mini sample for you guys to show you how to sew it together. And I recommended adding 1 inch of ease at your largest measurement, which was for me, it was my bust measurement. And that did work out fine for linen, because linen is a loose fitting fabric. So the more the fabric is going to collapse and fall on you, the more ease you actually need. So that's why I decided to add ease to the rayon challis top I'm wearing, because it falls closer to you. It doesn't cling, but it just falls closer. So I wanted more movement. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of adding 1 inch, if you're working with something that's more, I don't want to say clingy, because it doesn't cling, it fits more closely, things that are more soft and drapey than a linen, add 10% or up to 15% at your bust. So that means if you have a 40-inch bust, you're going to actually add 4 inches of ease. All right, so you can still start with the same pattern, just measure out and pick the size or grade out so you have 4 inches of ease across your bust. Now let's pretend that you have a 40-inch bust, but then you have a 55-inch hip. You can see that that's not going to give you enough ease. If you added 44 inches is the measurement, even if it comes out a little bit, it's probably going to be too tight at the hip. Let me just stop and say hi to Diane Bacon. Welcome, welcome. And Vicky, hello. I'm happy to see you guys. We're talking about the ease to add to your garment. And what I want to do is show you in this book. One thing that I found very helpful in this book is there's a chart of fabrics in here. So basically, there's a suggested fabric chart, and it shows you various fabrics and then, you know, how fitted they are. So, and it'll also tell you if it's not appropriate. Like, knits are listed as not appropriate in this book because they don't act like bias on the bias. However, I do cut a lot of things on the bias for knits to get different effects from the weave of the fabric. But then if you look down here, we've got linen. Where's my linen? So plain weave linen is a loose fitting garment. So that's why you can get away with less ease. But then when you come down to rayon is a semi-fitted, so you need a little bit more ease. Okay, so that's what I wanted to just show you, this cool chart. I highly recommend that everyone run out and get this book if you have any interest in experimenting with bias, because it is a treasure trove of details. So what I want to do here is I want to show you how to then add the ease. So like if we did, I'm just going to draw here. So if we did across the full bust right here, that was our 40 inches. But we know here we're going to need more. What we're going to do is we're going to create a godet and we're going to insert it into the front and or back of this. So a lot of times, depending on your shape, like if you have a prominent tummy or a bigger front, you can just add a godet to the front, but you can also add it to the back. On the top I'm wearing, I added it to both. Let me just show you that one more time. And you can see that I added it so one's going this way and then one's going that way. So they're opposite directions, front to back. So what you want to do first of all is decide where your godet is going to go. And then what you're going to do is you're going to draw a line right on your garment on the straight of grain. Now, where is the straight of grain on this garment? The straight of grain on this garment is at a 90-degree angle from the straight, and I can actually see the weave of the fabric, so I can draw my guide along the grain. And you want to measure how long it is, so you can make this godet as long or short as you want. But I kind of looked to where I started to want to add ease. I didn't want to add ease at my bust. I wanted to add it down lower, like where my waist is, so starting about at my waist. So that's why I'm going to stop my godet right there. Now on the back, I'm going to do the same thing. So let's say I have it be the same 90 degrees. And also I'm going to be about a ½ an inch from the seam here. Okay, and we'll make them the same length. So for this small sample, it's going to be, we'll make it 5 inches. And then let me just measure this one. Okay, and that one is 5 inches already, so that works out nice. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to draft a godet for this. Let me just stop and say to So Much Fashion, welcome, welcome, welcome. And Ingrid says Amazon has bias cut blueprints starting at $49. I know with tax I paid 52 something with my Amazon link. So it's really a great book. I would have bought it from her directly, but she didn't have any left when I was at ASG. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to put this aside for now. I'm not going to cut anything yet. I'm going to show you how to make a godet. I'm just going to use this little piece of paper here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw myself a line. Well, I got to do it obviously so you can see what I'm doing here. Hold on. All right, I think that's good. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw myself a straight line that's going to be the center of my godet. And then I'm going to mark it 5 inches. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches. And actually, I'm going to make it 6 inches. I'm going to add an inch to my godet because some of the point is not going to be wide enough to use. And I'll show you that in a minute. So this is going to be 6 inches for a 5-inch godet over here. All right. And then you're going to find the middle. So my middle is right here. And that's where you define how much ease you want to add in the middle of the godet. So for this teeny weeny little sample, let's do an inch. I did 3 inches for the top that I'm wearing now, but I'm just going to make this a 1-inch skinny godet like this. So there's my inch. And then I'm basically going to connect and go through. That is going to be a pretty substantial godet for this little size, but I want to show you how this works. Okay, so here's my godet. And you can add seam allowances to this if you'd like. I am not going to add seam allowances because this is really a good size godet for this tiny size shirt. So if you want to add a seam allowance, you can. But that's going to be mine as is because, again, it's really tiny. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut this out. Okay. Oops. My little godet blew off the table here. I have the fan on because it's hot in my room. Oh, Ingrid, that's a good idea to check your library. That is a good idea. All right, so now, oh, I was going to use this fabric to cut my godet, but this is my straight of grain version, so I definitely don't want to do that. Let me go get a scrap of red. Hold on. I'm just going to cut a piece off. All right, sorry about that. I thought I had fabric to make my godets with. All right, so let's see here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on this fabric so you can see it, the straight of grain, because we want to set up or cut out our little godet so it's centered on the straight of grain. So in case you can't see the fibers, I'm basically going to draw my straight of grain here. So there's this way and this way. So that is the straight of grain. Oh, Vicki wants to know if I could use a different color for the sample. I totally can. You know what? Let me do a different color for one, and I'll do one. So it's, I'll do one. I want to do one to show you how it blends into the actual garment, but I'll do the second one on a different color. That's a really, really good idea. All right, so let me see. Hold on. I have more linen. You know I have a ton of linen because I bought all that linen. Here, let's do All right, that's a good idea. All right, so I'll use this one for one, and we'll cut one out of the red and we'll cut one out of the print, because I want to show you how it disappears into the garment. Because that's one of the exciting things about this is if you screw up, or not screw up, but if you, if you make something and it's too tight, this is a total saving grace. Now you're going to notice, instead of weighting it down with pins or anything else, I am weighting it down with Scotch tape. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if I Scotch tape the point to the fabric and then I start fussing around with my ruler like this, it's not going to shift the fabric under the pattern piece. I was having a hard time weighting this down and cutting it out accurately. So Scotch tape is going to work beautifully to hold the piece down, and then you can cut it out. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut this out. Oops. And see, then I can easily cut it. When I was working with the rayon challis, it was much more shifty. So the Scotch tape was a real godsend when I was cutting that out. All right, let me just get this. Okay, so there's one godet. And then let me cut out a second godet out of this fabric right here. Again, we're going to give Vicki a gold star. And again, I'm going to cut it out on the straight of grain, like this. So obviously you would measure from the selvage edge to the center line to make sure it's straight. I am eyeballing it, but if you want to measure, I would measure for a real deal garment. And again, I'm just going to tape it to it. And if you're working with something that's really, shifty, you can even put a piece, you can even take a piece of tape and stick it on each side a couple places as well, especially if you're making a long full-size godet. This really, I almost feel like this Scotch tape idea on bias is as exciting as the Velcro idea I got for the waistbands, because for pants fitting waistbands, because this really makes a huge difference. All right, so let's cut this out. Oops. All right, let me finish cutting this out here. Okay. All right, so now let's get our little shirt back over here. Here's what we'll do. We'll do the contrasting one first. And just to show you what I'm going to do here to make it even easier to see, I'm actually going to draw my seam allowance on here, and you're going to see why I made it an inch longer than my slash, because you're going to see how it takes up some of the space here. So if I do a 1/4 inch like this, and if I do a 1/4 inch on this side as well, you're going to see I'm losing about an inch of it. Oops. And actually I'm tapering the seam allowance a little closer towards the tip. Oops, that's not nice. Oh. All right, we'll just go with that. All right, so there's going to be my stitching line. All right, and what we're going to do here is I'm literally going to take my scissors, and I know this is a little traumatizing, but I'm literally going to cut my garment right up to the end of my slash line that I marked. So you can see I've got cut. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to turn this right side out now because we want to put right sides together. And I'm going to take my little godet and I'm going to stick it so I can get the tip to be, to end like right where the top of my slit is. So you can see there's my slit. Let me just get this, hold on. Oops, sorry. Make sure this is nice and sharp. I want to make sure you can see everything here. All right, I think that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to put a clip at the very top, and then I'm just going to clip it to itself. Now remember, we cut out the this godet. We cut it out so the center of it was on the straight of grain. That means the sides are subtly off grain. They're approaching bias. They're not exactly biased because this obviously is not a 90-degree angle, but it's approaching bias. So Christiana wants to know if you could sew it first and then cut it. You might, but you're going to have a lot of fabric up at that tip. You can try it if you want to. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get my sewing machine over here. Let me see if I can lift this just ever so slightly. Okay, let's make sure that's nice and sharp. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically hold my, I want to see the, where the tip is. I'm pulling out the, so see there's the V is right there. So all I did was I literally just sewed on my 1/4 inch line. And I'm gently stretching the edges as I sew as well, because remember, you want the seam to have some vertical give. And when I get up to the top, I'm going to make sure that I'm not catching the other side. But then also remember, you can see if I take this last clip out, you can see that it's going to end right where the V is right there. So basically I'm just going to stitch to there. And then I'm going to back tack just a couple stitches. Okay, and then I'm going to reach around and I'm going to put right sides together on the other side as well. So here's one side. Oops, sorry. And so now we're going to put, I think I have to turn it inside out now. So now I'm going to put right sides together like this. So now my shirt is inside, is inside out. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like this now because we want the edges to be together like this. So see what I'm doing is there's the little tip right here. You can see it right there. Oops. So basically I'm gonna clip that. And we're going to sew from the top and we're going to go down on this side because I want to make sure I match it up exactly with the tip of the godet. So I'm just going to pin the other side like this. All right, and so you can see here now from this side, I can see where I started sewing. Let's zoom in so you can see here. Okay, so I can see where I started sewing right there, so I want to make sure that's where I start sewing on this side as well. So I'm going to bring my sewing machine over. I'm going to take this first clip off, and I'm just going to line up that needle so it's right in the where I started. So literally it's, let me just get that so you can see. Hold on. Okay, so you can see it's right at the top of that seam. I'm going to take a couple stitches forward, and I'm just going to take a couple stitches back. I want to make sure it doesn't come unsewn. And then literally I'm just going to stretch it as I sew. Okay, so when I get down over here, all right, let's see what we have. So from the inside, it looks like this. So obviously now, these edges are going to ravel because they're not true bias. So you might want to clean finish the edge of your godet before you insert it. And then of course you could, just snip this so you don't have a long tail there. But basically that's how it looks on the inside. And on the outside it looks like this. And again, I'm going to give Vicki a gold star one more time because you can see really clearly how it just disappears into the fabric. And then this bottom edge here, I think in this case I probably would, I could, if I wanted to make it even and not have it be asymmetrical, I could just cut it off like that. So see how cool that is? So that's how it looks. This is how it looks sewn in. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see the whole thing. Okay. And you can see now we have more ease, right? So let's do it again on the other side with the red one so we can compare how it disappears into the fabric. So again, I'm just going to cut along my chalk line that I drew. And remember, this chalk line is on the straight of grain. On the straight of grain, the godet we cut out is centered on the straight of grain. Oh, Tana wants to know if you can sew to the point and tie it off. You could. You can also use a shorter stitch length if you don't want to back tack. That is a little bit of a risk to back tack, but you can see if you're careful. And this is a teeny little one. You can see it's almost perfect. And I did a little back tack there. So, just finish that in the way that you're comfortable with. But you can see that does lay really, really, nicely. All right, so for this one, I'm not going to draw any lines. I'm just going to match this up, right sides together. So again, there's where the V is right there. I'm literally just going to extend my tip of my point so I have room to get both allowances in there, and I'm going to line this up. Put a couple clips, and I suppose I could start from the top on this side too. I think I played with both directions. I didn't really have, one way didn't really seem significantly easier than the other way, so I'll try it this way this time. All right, so again, I'm gonna just make sure I'm starting so I'm right at the tip of the slash. And I want to keep my edges together. So I am sort of reducing the seam allowance up at the top on the garment, so it's very gradual. You know, again, I am pulling. Okay, so see, it does, so it is kind of a tapery, you know, it's kind of closer there. Then I'm gonna open it up so I can match. Let's turn it to the right side. So we want to tuck that little corner, you know, to the inside like this. And actually I'll turn it around like this so we can get it like this. So see, now the right sides are together again. And there's the tip of the dart. You can see how it's up here. There's the tip of my godet. And then I'm just gonna fold this around on itself so I can stitch this. And we definitely want to be on the godet side this time so I can see exactly where I started. So on this side, I'm gonna put it in so I can see that I'm starting right on that same line. Oops. Okay, that's good. All right. And again, 1, 2, and then I'm just going to do 1, 2 backwards, and then I'm just going to take off here. And again, I'm on the opposite side of my presser foot this time, so I'm going to make sure I'm keeping the edge of my fabric even with this outside edge there. I think working with this tiny sample is harder than doing a real life size sample in terms of sewing it accurately, but also I think it's easier for you to see on a smaller sample. Okay, so let's turn this around so we can see. Oh, now this time I missed it. See, there's a hole. So I'm gonna have to go back and fix that. I didn't catch it that time. Let me see if I can fix that. I do think finishing the edges of this is a really good idea. I'm going to turn it. Let me see if I can. I'm just going to make sure you know what I'm going to do? You're going to laugh, but I'm going to take a piece of Scotch tape and I'm literally going to just wrap it around to make sure those edges stay even, like that. So I wrapped it around, and then I think I'll be able to just very easily sew it. Let's see if that fixed it. I'm really embracing the Scotch tape for a lot of things by it. See how that held it even on both sides? And then I can just pull it off. Right now, let's look and see. All right, I have that big glob there because I kept back tacking, but you can see it's now completely sewn. Right? So that glob was from um, you know, from my boo-boo, but you can see how that just blends right in, and if I were to press that, and then if I were to be wearing it, it would be very not noticeable. All right, so let me see what's happening over here. So Tana's asking, I'd like to see the shot of the inside of your top so you can see the edges of the godet. I think I showed you that. And then you wanted to know, you can treat it like a dart if you want to, yes. And then you missed the part about determining the size of the godet needed. So what you want to do is you want to find the middle of the vertical length of your godet, and that's where you want to calculate the ease. Because it's going to go from nothing up near the top where you need less ease to here, and then there'll be more down by the hem. So you can see on my life-size version here, I made an 18-inch long godet, and I made it 3 inches in the middle. So that's how I designed it. And these recommendations are from Julianne's book. I didn't make that up in my mind. That's what she told me to do by reading her book. So that's how you use a godet to add ease. And again, I think, for this, I probably would trim this one so it makes an even hem. But basically, you can see we have a lot more ease there. It's a completely different shape now compared to how it was. And then from the inside, again, that's how the godet looks. Oh, Ingrid is saying the videos remain on Jen's channel so you can rewatch them. Yes, you can absolutely rewatch all of my lives. They live under the live tab on my home page, so you can definitely check those out. Vicki says the different color is a cool style feature. You absolutely can. You absolutely can use a contrasting or coordinated. I mean, imagine the cool thing you can do with this. I mean, you could put godets. You could put another short one over here. I mean, there's so many things you can do with these godets. This initial tutorial is just to show you how to add it if you have a fitting problem, but you can definitely use it for different style things as well. So, whoops, because I don't need that anymore on my face. But anyway, so again, this top I'm wearing, remember, this only has an inch of ease here. Okay, so remember, I made this top with an inch of ease across my bust. And now it's got the more moving bottom because of the godets I added. Okay, so I know somebody, and I'm sorry, I can't remember which person it was, but someone did specifically ask me, what do I do if my bust is 40 inches and my hip is 50 something inches? So this is what you would do. You would pick your ease for your bust and then add godets to make it bigger around your full hip. So that's the thing. So let's regroup what this sew along is doing here. So remember, I designed a V-neck top, and I'm going to be sewing that together to test for next week. And then we'll see about making it into a dress. So that next week I'll be working with my actual pattern I designed 3 weeks ago. I just wanted to circle around and tell people how they could add more ease if they needed to down at the hem for your hip. Janie says, good to know, and it's rather pretty. And thank you, thank you. And Diane says, nice option. And Tana says, it's so similar to what you are doing to patterns before you cut the pattern out. Well, that is true. But here's another thing that I found very fascinating about this. You could create, I mean, you could plan for this with pattern pieces before you cut them out. Or if you find out after the fact that you need room, either way you can do this. So it's almost like, I don't want to say it's foolproof fitting, but it's definitely kind of cool that you could fix something if you've already cut it out and it's too tight. I like the fact that if you still have fabric that matches, you can blend it in and it will just look like a style line, really. It's not going to look like you can say you did it on purpose. So I kind of like that. Ingrid says it's like slash and spread. It's just like slash and spread. Slash and spread for bias. And Vicki says, are you going to make something from the book? I think I might experiment as soon as I get my, I've started that V-neck top, so I don't want to not finish that now, but I might play with working with making the tube and then making a garment from the tube, because it is a very cool idea. Because guess what? If you make a bias tube like this book shows you, you're not sewing any of your seams on the straight of grain. You're sewing you're sewing all the seams on the straight of grain. You're not trying to sew side seams on the bias, which I think is much better. So, again, this is my new favorite book. I think everybody should get a copy of it. And I did put my affiliate link there, but I get such a tiny bit. I have been an Amazon affiliate now for 6-8 months. And I haven't even reached $100 threshold. So I'm not, I'm doing it to give you links where you can find things. And I try to find links that link right to small businesses. But, it's a way for me just to share an easy way for you to get something if you can get it on Amazon. But again, I do make a tiny bit of something, but it's such a tiny bit that it's, I'm not concerned about that so much. But I do think this is a very cool book. Yeah. So that's my exciting FabFit Friday today. Hey DIYer girl, thank you. So Christina's asking how wide to make the godet. You find the middle of the godet, and then you kind of decide approximately how much ease you want to add. And then you add that, it's in the middle of the godet. And I'm guessing because this is a triangle and it gets wider at the bottom, it's narrower at the top, it's sort of a guesstimate. And I'll be playing with it more, so I'll be able to give you more fine-tuned recommendations on deciding how much ease. But if you're standing there looking at yourself and you can see that it's grabbing around you and you just want it to skim, I generally say adding a couple inches in the front and a couple inches in the back will take something off of, being right there and then skimming. That's been my experience with adding ease to things that are not on the bias. And I think, maybe 3 inches instead of 2 inches on the bias did that, because you can see I added 3 inches. Let's go back and look at, whoops. Here is the no. Oh, I know what I can do. Let me get, hold on. I know what I can do. Just give me a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add those pictures. Let's add the front view of, let me just see something here. So I'm going to add this. Okay, so this is the no godet side view. And then I'm going to also add, this is the, I think it's this one. All right, so this one is the one with the godet. So it's hard to tell by these pictures, and actually the one with no godet on the left looks, I don't know, I think it's clinging on to me a little bit. And so you can see I added a 3-inch in the center of an 18-inch godet there, and I got that little bit of a difference. Okay, and then if we look at, I'm gonna delete those. Oop. Let me just delete these. And then let me get the front views. Add existing, so I'll add the second one. So here's the front view with no godet, and then here is the one with the godet. So you can see adding, I think at the front is easier to see, adding a 3 inches across the front and back just made it a little bit more skimmy. It didn't add a ton of ease, but it made it a little bit more, I think, nicely shaped. And you can see on the left, it's hitching on my high hip in my back where I have like a little fat, a little fatty thing in the back. You can see it over there on the left side of the picture. It's not as bad on the right. And I think that's just the way I'm standing there. But I just think it fits better with that 3 inches. So that's an example of 3 inches of ease. All right. Okay. Okay, so Christiana says, thank you. I love your teaching, Brain. Always look forward to knowledge. Thank you, Christiana. And then Diane says, off topic, your nails are looking fabulous. I think I'm going to keep them because this is now, these are gel nails and they're now 3 weeks old. So if I can do them once a month, I'll keep them. I did break one when I was packing up at ASG, but that was because I was manhandling a suitcase. They've been pretty durable and I can shave them down as they get older, longer. So, Lazarus is chiming in. He's telling me that a godet makes you look taller. Well, it kind of does. And it adds, I think, you can see on a soft drapey fabric that that asymmetrical hem is, I think, kind of attractive. So I am going to leave it on this. And then if you're wondering how I finished the neckline, I literally sewed a little black knit strip to the right side, and then I turned it completely to the inside, like a little mini facing, and then I top stitched it down. So I will finish my armholes the same way. But I do like the way, oh, yay. Diane says, Daddy knows best. Once a month will work. Yep. Diane's referring to the fact that my dad was weirdly attracted to the fact that I got these nails done, and he felt like I should be keeping the nails because he thought I was so famous on my YouTube channel that I should have pretty nails. That's what he told me. So so maybe I will. I mean, I have to admit, I do like them. I'm getting used to typing with them and stuff. So I think I will keep them because the other benefit is I don't chew them. I don't chew them because you can't chew them. So it helps my teeth too. Oh, RT Blades 4 says, yeah, you missed it. I mean, you made it. You did make it, but I'm ready to sign off now, unfortunately. So if you guys are following along with me and you're making some knit tops, please, what am I saying, knit tops? If you're making some bias tops, please show me what you're working on. Either email me pictures or put them in my, you can post things in my J Stern Designs Fit Sew Embroider Facebook group. So I can see what you guys are working on. If any of you are working on this and you have questions, please ask me, comment here, comment on over at my Facebook page. I'll help you. I am having a blast with this bias. I'm going to make a lot of bias things. I'm absolutely in love with it. This top, you know, I cut it out as an afterthought to show you the difference between the rayon versus the linen, but I absolutely love this top. And now that I added the godet, I love it even more. So I'm very, very excited. But anyway, so that would be, whoops, let me just get rid of these photos and then I will sign off for today. Okay, we'll clean up our little face view so when I come on next week I won't have all this mess here. One quick question. How do you deal with how easy linen wrinkles? Just accept it as a fact of life? Well, I mean, yes and no. So let me just show you this top here. Hold on. I'm taking my red linen one off my ditto form for a second to show you. this top was, I'll just put it on over my black one. I'll show you. This was folded up in a small little folded up pack job from ASG. I literally took it out of my suitcase, and notice I did not iron it, and just putting it on my dress form, all of the creases and stuff started to fall out of it. So, you know, I mean, it does look a little rumpled, but honestly, that's how linen looks. So I'm gonna be I'll iron if I need to kind of girl, but also if it has a little wrinkles, I'm gonna be fine with it. All right, so let me just see here. Vicky says linen blends are less wrinkly. That's 100% true. If you add a little cotton or a little something else in there, it is, it does make it less wrinkly. And a holder says, didn't know about your Facebook page. Want the bias book, great idea. V-neck dress. I have a link, my affiliate link from Amazon is in the description below, a holder, so you can go get the book. And my Facebook group, if you go to Facebook, there's a link to for the Facebook group in the description below, I believe. And let me see. Yeah, and stay tuned for the V-neck dress, because we'll be working on that next week. And then Diane says, thank you, very informative class. Christiana says, ditto. Yay, yay, yay. All right, so I had a lot of fun today. I do have a 2:30 private pants fitting that I have to get ready for, so I'm going to sign off now. But thank you guys so much for watching. Oops, wait a minute. Vicky says, I found a blend that had recycled poly with the linen. Oh, I bet that's beautiful. Oh, if you guys saw my, hold on. I feel bad about this. I was not feeling good on Wednesday when I did my subscriber Q&A, and I showed these fabrics from Metro Textiles. So I got this one. This is a Italian linen. Beautiful, beautiful. This is also Italian linen. Oh, and this is a cashmere linen cotton blend, which I'm going to make my next classic slim short Sorsha pants out of. But what I wanted to tell you was, if you want to go to metrotextile.com, oh no, Metro Textiles NYC, I'm going to put it in the chat here, hold on. Metro Textiles, hold on, I want to make sure I get this right. Wait 1 second. Metro Textiles. Sorry. All right, their website is Metro Textiles NYC. So it's Metro Textiles NYC.com. NYC.com. Use coupon code summer 50 for 50% off. Boop. All right, so I forgot to tell you guys the coupon code on Wednesday. So, you know, some of his, like this linen right here on his website, this is a cross-woven beautiful linen. It's $35 a yard on his website, but you can get 50% off with the coupon. So definitely, if you want to go check out Metro Textiles, use coupon code SUMMER50 to get 50% off, and then sign up for his newsletter, because he gives other coupon codes throughout the year. So definitely check him out if you're looking for fun fabric. All right, so, oh, and if you want to see more details about my fabric, go check out subscriber Q&A from this week, because I went through and showed the fabrics more closely. All right, so yay, now I'm going to sign off. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week for Fit Tip Tuesday. I'm going to show you how to do prominent calf adjustment for a body-specific adjustment to fix your pattern before you cut out your fit muslin. On subscriber Q&A, I have a topic that I'm going to be sharing. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I do have a topic. I promised someone on a subscriber that I would answer her question on Wednesday. And then on Friday, we're doing more bias, so it's going to be a fun week next week. So enjoy your weekend, and I will see you again very, very soon. All right, bye-bye.